Today, we are diving deep into the high-stakes world of emergency chemical response. You know, in massive industries like oil and gas, when something goes wrong, it goes wrong fast. And that means the response has to be even faster. So let's pull back the curtain and see exactly what that protocol looks like. So just imagine this for a second. A critical system gets contaminated. A key piece of equipment fails. Production just stops. What on earth happens in that first crucial hour? Well, the answer isn't chaos. It's a highly specialized, pre-planned protocol designed to bring order back from the brink. We're going to break this down into 5 key phases. We'll start with the moment the disaster strikes, then look at the immediate response, the super fast planning that has to happen, the high-pressure execution of the cleanup, and finally, what happens after the dust settles, learning from the whole thing. Okay, first up, when disaster strikes. Now, when we say emergency, you might be picturing some huge dramatic event, but often it's something way more subtle, but just as damaging to the bottom line. See, the triggers can be all sorts of things. You could have a process upset, which is kind of like a critical artery in the whole system getting clogged up with gunk or fouling. Or maybe it's a contamination incident that suddenly ruins an entire batch of a really valuable product. Any one of these means you have to act, and you have to act now. So, the alarm goes off. What's the next move? This is where we see the first response kick into gear. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like an industrial SWAT team being mobilized, a specialized crew that is ready to go at a moment's notice. And that state of readiness, it's called a rapid response capability. But it's so much more than just having a few people on speed dial. It's an entire ecosystem. You've got the right people with the right skills, the right equipment just waiting on standby, the right chemicals already in stock, and, this is key, establish procedures so nobody's wasting a second trying to figure out what to do. And all that preparation, all that readiness, it is all laser focused on one single goal: to minimize the impact, minimize the damage, minimize the downtime, and get that operation back online as fast and as safely as is humanly possible. So the team's been mobilized, which brings us to part 3, planning under pressure. Now, it might sound a little weird, right? Stopping to plan in the middle of an emergency, but trust me, skipping this step is how a bad situation becomes a catastrophic one. This is the calm before the operational storm. This plan gets built at lightning speed around 3 core pillars. First, you have to understand your enemy. What is the contamination? What are you dealing with? Second, based on that, you pick your weapons, the right cleaning methods and chemicals. And third, you establish the rules of engagement, the safety measures to protect everyone involved and the facility itself. And you know, this is where the human element is just irreplaceable. Checklists and procedures are absolutely vital, don't get me wrong. But in a real crisis, it's the gut feeling and deep knowledge of experienced people that speeds everything up. They see the whole picture and make the right calls when the pressure is on. All right, the plan is locked in. It's time for phase 4, executing the clean. The clock is officially ticking. Every minute of downtime is costing a fortune, and the pressure is immense. This is go time. Success at this stage really boils down to a perfect trifecta. You need skilled people who can do their job flawlessly under intense stress. You need the right resources, the equipment, the chemicals, right there, right now. And the thing that holds it all together? Crystal clear communication. It's the lifeline that stops mistakes from happening and keeps everyone safe. And make no mistake, everything is happening in a compressed time frame. I mean, decisions that might normally take days of careful consideration now have to be made in minutes. Every single action is critical because this whole operation is a race against the clock. But, and this is the absolute golden rule, that speed can never ever compromise safety. It's a total high-wire act. You're trying to move as fast as possible while making sure the entire job is done without a single incident. It's about protecting the crew and the facility. Let's just connect this all back to the big picture for a second. For the business, every second the plant is down, money is just pouring out the door, sometimes thousands of dollars a minute. So all this expertise, this speed, this focus on safety, it's all driving towards that number one goal: minimize the financial bleeding and get that plant making money again. That's the real measure of success. And that brings us to our final section, learning from the crisis. The system is clean, it's back online, everything seems fine. But the job is not over. Actually, in some ways, the most important work is just about to start. This happens through what's called a post-emergency review.
And let me be clear, this is not about pointing fingers or blaming people. It's a systematic, totally blameless look at what happened, why it happened, and how the response went, all with one goal: to get better.
And the aims of this review are all about the future. First, you dig and you dig until you find the absolute root cause. Second, you look at your own response with a critical eye to see where you could have been faster or more efficient. And the ultimate goal? To learn so much from this one event that you can stop a similar one from ever happening again. It's about turning a failure into a strength.
So the real question isn't just about what was learned, but about how those lessons get woven into the very DNA of the company. Because in these high-stakes games, surviving a crisis is only a true victory if it gives you the knowledge to prevent the next one.